blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Hello, hello, and welcome to According to Courtney. If this is your first time here, I'm Courtney West, the host of According to Courtney. I am a full spectrum doula, birth worker, nurse, and everything in between. Here on the show, we talk about everything from Black birth, mental health, how to fill your cup, and everything in between. And today, if we have my girl, Miss Alexis.
Hey,
So if you
everybody.
Hey, so if you're not haven't been here before, Miss Alexis has been on the stage with us before. But for the people who are new to us, give them a little background on who you are.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Alexis Woods Barr. I am a social and clinical researcher from the University of North Carolina, and I am also the owner of Titties Out, Wisdom In. And I'm so excited to be here with you all this morning. Join us for this conversation. You will not be sorry.
Yes, I am super excited about this conversation today. We have another guest who will be popping in a little later to talk about this collaboration that I'm super excited about. So, for the celebration of Juneteenth, what I've decided to do was to collaborate with Miss Alexis and this amazing writer, author, poet, Miss Malikia, together on talking about how Black birth is actually having joyous Black birth is a revolutionary act. See, look at that. It's like the time you just had to, like, you knew what it was. Yay! Now, like, we got to bring one of my favorite artists to the stage. Good morning, Miss Malikia. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. I was not expecting to be right up on stage when I came in. I thought it was gonna be downstairs with downstairs in them.
No. You
Come
know
on
how
up,
we do.
sis.
We coming up. We coming with it. So for people who understand, this is fam. They've been on the show before, but we're giving everybody a chance to like let you get a little bit of tea about them. So, ma'am, since you just came and joined us to the stage, I know I'm putting you right on the spot. Can you give the audience a little background on you?
Okay, so the background on me is about to be interesting because, like I shared with Miss Courtney and Miss Alexis, poetry be pimping me. And last
Ah!
night I was in them pimping hoe streets till 2 in the morning with partners in rhyme. So it was a lyrical vibe last night. We had open mic, and when I tell you, it was a glorious night and so strong. We did a tribute to the fathers in between the
Mm,
poetry, and when I tell you, all of the feelings was out. All of the feelings was out.
mm. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got pimp last night. I love it.
Oh, baby.
It's
So
I
I
love
am
it.
it's all right.
I am Malika K. Courtney, the founder of Sanctuary Experience. And to truncate, because I'm sure we'll talk about it as we move through, I love people back to life professionally, whether coaching in direct, one-to-one, small group, 3-day events, or burning this poetry with the mic melting. I be about that life. So that's where I'll pause for now.
I love it. I love it. Which actually brings us to why we're all together and why we've collaborated. So for Juneteenth, I wanted to really focus on Black women and Black people and the revolutionary act of joyous Black birth. And where does that come from? Because so many people still do not understand that, yes, we're still, as Black women, dying 3 to 4 times the rate of our white counterparts. Yes, even in this industrialized specialty society in America, we're still dying in this way. And so with Juneteenth, for people who don't understand what that is, it was the last emancipation of Texas, where they had decided they finally ended slavery way after the fact that it had already been ended, but they were the last group to have it. So now, this being a national holiday of some of sorts, people celebrate this, the revolutionary act of being freed. All right, cool. So that sounds all well and good and great and whatever. But as Black people and Black women, if the bondage ain't never changed, we had to change how we made things move. And people not understanding when it comes to birth, having joy in birth is a revolutionary act due to the history of the birthing of the nation, especially in the South for Black people. So having my guest that we have today, we're gonna kind of cover all these little things. And we're having this event in Ybor next Friday at a gallery opening for Gallery Noir, where we're talking Indie Noir's gallery, talking about this subject right here. But we wanted to give y'all a little bit of a taste of what this means and why are these things so important. So, ladies, let me open this up to you guys. So I'm gonna let you sit for a minute, Malika, because I know you've been working it. But Alexis, with your background, could you give people a little insight why the joy of Black birth is so revolutionary and the joy of breastfeeding is so revolutionary?
Okay. So I like to always set the stage, and I know you did a little bit of it, Courtney, by talking about the historical context, but I think that's the most important to understand why it's so important to bring in joy into our birthing experiences. So you know that we talked about how birth experiences have been controlled, traumatized, and devalued, right?
Mm-hmm.
During slavery, we were bred like cattle. And we had no say over our own reproductive lives, right? And then we came into forced sterilization and medical experimentation, like they did with our sisters without consent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even today, when we walk into the hospitals, our pain gets dismissed, our concerns get ignored. And like Courtney said, we're 3 to 4 times to die giving birth, right? Something we've been doing our entire existence compared to white women. And a significant portion of those deaths are preventable.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you understand the history, you realize that choosing joy isn't just personal for us, right? It's revolutionary. We're refusing to accept that trauma is our inheritance, right? Like we have to look at things. And so, with that being said, I think it's important for us to redefine our narrative. And so, it means that we get to write our own story, right? We walk into those birthing spaces expecting to fight for our lives, but we're also choosing to expect beauty, respect, and celebration, right? We're flipping the script, essentially. From will I survive to how amazing is this going to be, right? This doesn't,
Facts.
right? This doesn't mean we're naive about the challenges. Of course not. It means that we refuse to let other people's limitations define our possibilities. When we enter our birthing experience, we're going to say that our comfort matters, our preference matters, and our vision for how we bring our baby into this world is valid. And that's the radical system that we want to birth our babies into and be grateful, um, not just to survive, but to thrive.
I absolutely, I love, oof, you're giving me the tingles. I know
I'm
today's gonna be
ready,
one
y'all.
of
I'm ready
those
for
days.
Juneteenth, y'all.
We got this. We got this. So, what you guys may not know is all of us on here are mothers,
Mhm.
and I want to see you know when to come off of mute. I love this. I love this, and I want to bring you into this as a mother. What does black? What does birth joy look like for you? And did you have that?
Ooh, okay. So out of the gate, I love the question. And Alexis, I really appreciated that answer because it did add more light for me, Black mother joy. So I'm one of those people who believe in the wonder. And just like she was saying, like we have decided. So I made my decisions about how it was going to be. I was going to enjoy my experience as best I could. I would say that my firstborn was my most wonder filled. All of them were wonderful. In case they see this, all of them was wonderful. Okay, wonder filled moment. And two, one had a stranger for my doctor because my doctor decided to go on vacation the week I was due. Knew I was due for about 9 months. Knew when that baby was coming. She came on the day she was supposed to be coming. Either way, he thought it fit to take a vacation. And I met the man that would be peering into my vagina, looking for a child that very day. You understand? To the tune of hello, hi, and he was a godsend. Thank God for him. He was another skin too, so thank God for him. And he tended, and everybody doesn't get that experience. So for me in that birth, you know, I had family. I had a doctor who GAF'd, and y'all figure that translation out because I don't know if we swear around here. And
we swear around here.
Big freaking mirror to watch all of the things occur. And I'm like, she's breaking my Gucci. But to watch her being born, to come out colorless and watch the color flood into her body, can I tell you the wonder that God is? So I was in the wonder. And for me, all of my children coming through, like breaking into this life, breaking into breathing is what I call it, but to be able and be present and be a part of that, that was amazing. So can't nobody tell me nothing about working, baby, because I do believe that mothers, this is bullshit. We should not have to work as hard as we do when we have to give birth. So hell to the no, because the time it takes for the body to recover. But that's for me. For the joy of it, it was knowing that I did everything possible to make sure that they would be healthy births. I did not opt in for a whole lot of those drugs. I didn't want my children on drugs when they came to this earth. That's weird, you know. I won't say weird, God forgive me, because some people need it, and I did need it later. Get the picture. So I ate, I exercised, I did the things to make sure that my children, and it, because it definitely wasn't coming from the other end of instruction.
Right.
Okay, pumpkin. So that's my joyful experience.
But I thank you for sharing that. But you said a lot of points there. You had support, even when they didn't look like you, which is sometimes the hardest part of it, because most times in the hospital settings and even in some birth worker settings, the fact that the person doesn't look like you, and through the history lens, it was taught that Black women don't feel pain the same. It is okay to abuse us and not to listen to us.
Courtney, my mama threw a nurse out for that. I was like, this. I just pointed. Oh, she was like, she got to go.
Absolutely. But see, that right there is what makes that Black birth joy real. Like for myself, I did not have a great experience with my second one, but what saved my life was that my grandmother, my aunt, my mother, and my cousin, who are medical professionals and attorneys, said, this is not going to happen to ours. You will treat her. She is bleeding out. I don't like how much blood she is losing. Why have you not tended to her? My grandmother, who wanted to be a midwife and didn't, and was a nurse, was like, this is not how this is going to go. And it took a group of nurses, nurse practitioners, everything, to bring them in saying, I know what you guys do. I know how you like to abuse, but we're not doing that here. That for me was revolutionary, between having that type of birth and then having a midwife working out, doing all the things. And my midwife took the day off knowing I was in time. I was just like, I was horrified. I was like, so you left me here? And I met the man who was staring at my vagina.
Oh, wait a minute. She took the day off from work. She didn't show up, bruh.
She didn't go. She wasn't there.
I thought she was saying she took the day off of work from everything else to be there with you. I misunderstood. No.
She was gone. So I met the oldest Black OB who was practicing in Tallahassee. And he was amazing and so sweet and loving and patient, and said, hey, this is your experience. And actually had a class of students, medical students, say this will be their last birth to be doctors. Is it okay that we share this experience with them? And I was just like, oh, well, and then normally I was like 20 years old. I was like, I wanted to say, fuck no. But at the same time, I was like, hey, good morning. I was like, yes, I want this to be their birth, that they can have that. So Jalen, my oldest, was born to applause and
Aww.
born to congratulations and joy. And that is a moment I held so precious with me, because my mom came up from Tallahassee, made it in less than, it's supposed to be a 4-hour drive. She got there 2.5. We don't talk about it. With a thing of roses. My dad came in from Texas, and all my people were there, and they were just like, okay, we here for you. And so it was such a joyous occasion, even though it was so much, because the right people were
Mhm.
there to make this something beautiful. So
Yes.
all of that, and people, oh, I love it. You guys inspire us just as much as we inspire you. So we love to have you guys on here. But that's what makes it revolutionary, and that's rare. And so those experiences that we just discussed are rare. They don't happen for Black women. And people don't know that. And also, I want to touch, because the big part of it for me is the history of it. That's not where Black birth came from in the United States. So for many people do not know, in the South especially, the South is birthed by Black midwives. Even
Mhm.
from enslavement, their skill set came with them. So therefore, there was some autonomy over the body. If a midwife was on your plantation, they were doing the controlling of births. They were making sure that women were not they were having to push out babies for product, but being able to get a rest in between. The midwife would sometimes go out, birth the babies, then go out into the field, work for her, then go back to tend to the women, just to keep it in, and would work with birth control to make sure that these women were getting the most care that they can. I want to actually highlight one of these amazing midwives, what we call in birth workers, you would hear the slang term of granny midwives, and they would say this to the uncolored person, would call these women this, who've had knowledge that's been passed down from generation to generation, to deframe them, saying they're grannies in low class, which we call them grand midwives, and where the birth of the nation has come from. And one of these grand midwives, her name is Margaret Charles. She was born in 1906 in September, and was alive until 2004. So she was 96 when she passed.
Wow.
She
Beautiful.
did her first birth at 5. She was sent to sit with her future husband's cousin while they went to go get the midwife. By the time the midwife got there, she had already caught the baby and taken care of everything.
Wow.
She did not start practice until her 30s, and where she birthed in Alabama over 3,500 births and lost
Come on.
very few. This is for twins, and
Mm.
this is her right here. And she was just an absolutely amazing midwife. What made her special was, in 1945, she was one of the first midwives to get her certification to give midwifery to everyone in segregated Alabama.
Mm.
Morning. Morning,
Hey,
Sophia.
Sophia.
So good to see you. So with this amazing woman, and she had practiced for 35 years in Alabama in 1976. They had outlawed midwifery because now the white medical thought wanted to take over birth and made it illegal
Mhm.
for these 150 Black midwives who had been birthing everyone. They saw that there was bank and money from it, because beforehand, if you were Black, even with money, they would not serve you in the hospital
Mhm.
system. So you lived and died based off of the midwife. And
Hmm.
she was taking care of everyone. What made her special was that she worked in the clinics with the doctors and white counterparts too, on both sides of it. So this woman would be treading through water, because she was doing rural Alabama with women who were malnourished and not taken care of. And keep in mind, rarely lost a birth. And these are premature babies, twin births, and breached. She was one of the rare midwives to be able to practice till 1981. Now, keep in mind, it's been outlawed in 1976, but her
Ooh-wee.
numbers were so impressive that the white colonialist Western medicine, were losing women out of 1,000. You're losing 76 to 22 women out of every per 1,000 women, but she wasn't losing any. So they allowed her to teach.
They had to learn from somebody. Period.
So
Hello.
that was
That's
really
what I
what it
go
was.
down to.
Studied how her work was, because she
That's
worked
sweet.
in both spaces. In 1996, she wrote her first book, Listen to Me Good, that explained the background of midwifery in the rural Alabama. This woman would do 4 births a night. Sometimes these people couldn't pay her anything. They would pay her in produce, and she would sometimes get paid only $5 to $10 per birth, or sometimes they couldn't give her anything. And she never turned anyone down and did this. This is the seeds that were planted, and the why we have Black birth joy, despite all the odds, despite everything. She made it happen for these women, and worked and lived on her same farm all her life.
And you said the title is Listen to Me Good.
Yes, it's the life story of an Alabama midwife, Margaret Charles Smith, and it is just such an amazing book to hear what she did and her matter of this. Like, she just was such an in tune woman that she learned to be a midwife from another local midwife and tutored under her. She did not move into midwifery until her late 30s, but this was always a calling for her. And so for having this and having, like, think about this. She at 5 helped bring to the world her future husband's cousin's baby.
That's what blew me. The future husband.
Exactly.
Her
That's
future.
blood.
I just said
Like,
that.
that's what I'm saying, like, how synchronized is that? And even in her, and if you look her up, there's documentaries and videos in her own words and stories. Yes, that's the title. Listen to Me Good. I love Margaret Charles Smith. I read this book a few years ago. That her husband, she said, was always a farmer. He was always linked in. He lived on the other side of her farm. So she literally went from there to living with him, and he supported her through all, and because he farmed the whole time. So I say that to give some spotlight to our daddies, our Black daddies, and being with birth workers, being with Black women. You need that stance of that Black man because most of the time for these births, if he wasn't taking her, other husbands were going to drive miles out to go reach her from one birth to the next. Keep in mind, there's no cell phones. There's no nothing. So you would have to go all the way to her house to find out she's like 15 miles somewhere else, and then go pick her up and then go to someone else's house.
Hallelujah. Oh, Lord.
And her husband would go back and forth, bringing food, bringing healthcare, because birth in the Black communities, rural, far out, and everything else, it was a celebration. Your neighbors kicked in to come and feed you, or they would have a child sit with you, or a family member sit with you until that midwife could come. It was community work.
Yes.
Even with the odds being what they were, there was always some Black birth joy when it came to the midwives. And I, stand on, there needs to be held some accountability and some stance on, we got here and made it the way that we did. And not just Black people, but white people in this area. The midwife birthed everyone.
Yes.
Everyone went to the midwife to give birth, especially when you're in rural areas. There was no one else, and
her care did not depend. Like her care didn't change based on color. Like her care didn't magically falter.
Hello.
But I feel like we've I find that as a culture, and I always find that very interesting. Our care has always been, we had to care for everyone, even with breastfeeding. There's a lot of negative connotation in the Black community about breastfeeding because Black women could not feed their own children, but we had to, of course, allow masters' babies to suckle at us and deny our own children. So growing up, I was told a lot of times how disturbing and disgusting breastfeeding was, due to that means, oh, so you're the one who sits in the big house and gets raped. Who wants to be that person? And people don't understand the culture of that because no one talks about it unless you're in the culture.
It's true. The challenges that I had with my first one, because I was all about that breastfeeding life, and that's when the family failed to be supportive. It was to the tune of, that's weird, perverted, like literally those kind of things were said. And I'm like, are you retarded? If God made the body function to where the mother can provide nutrients that you're not going to get from food,
Mhm.
chances are you might wanna pass. I mean, you just might wanna. You might not, but you might wanna pass on that protection and those nutrients to your baby. And I'm telling you, y'all, I had nurses and parents and other folks sneaking a child bottles. So the frustration and the support not being present, it was hard. So she, of all of my children, was nursed maybe 3 months, about 3 months in comparison to 2 years with the other ones. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
So there's something to be said for that, and you've made so many points in what you were sharing. It is dastardly, you know what I mean, dastardly to demonize something so beautiful. And the
Mhm.
one thing I can say, my youngest daughter, when she had her babies, believe and trust me, she did not give no one dance, not one damn, not two. Wherever she was, and that
Hello.
baby wanted that titty was out for all to enjoy. And the baby got the milk because she would pop that bad boy out, period.
Mhm.
So, and then the first time she did it, and I was with her, because I covered up, I did have my blanket, had the child sweating the high hell, but she was like, "No, this is natural," and she said it with her chesticles.
Language,
I'm about to
yeah.
say something with her
Body
chesticles.
She
language.
had it with
Really,
her titties out. She said it with her titties out. Like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna feed my baby.
yeah, like literally. So I respect her as a mother, and she definitely had my support because I was all up in her ear, like, yeah, breastfeeding is wonderful. It's definitely natural. It's nurturing, the whole nine of that. And she read. So let me say that out loud. And she read.
Mhm.
Oh, and she read. Yeah.
Mhm.
Alexis, she read.
Yeah, so she's researched it for her own self, which I think is the most important part. And so I want to make mention really quickly. So my dissertation work, and I know this is my love language, is to
Mhm.
talk about how families communicate. And so what you were saying, Malikia, about how family members would, maybe make you feel a little try to make you feel bad about nursing your baby or making that decision to nurse because they don't understand. That I have found to be one of the biggest hurdles in the Black community because we don't understand, because maybe we tried to forget because of some of the painful past that you were talking about, Courtney, and
Mhm.
how we couldn't nurse our own baby because we had to nurse someone else's. And we were always thinking about someone else, to the effect of maybe we just blocked it out and said, you know what, that's a chore. We don't do those kinds of things because those are things we had to do, right? Not that we get to do. And so it starts, I believe, with that unlearning the crappy knowledge that we have so far, or the stigmas that we hold, and then relearning. So I think that's where the platform Titties Out Wisdom In is hopefully coming into that space of trying to unlearn some of those negative thoughts. I was also told, oh, you're breastfeeding because you get gratification.
Me too.
How?
Me
I
too.
feel like a cow.
And it hurts.
It, it
Well, it
It
may
hurts.
hurt, but it's not supposed to hurt,
right.
right?
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Or for me, it definitely hurt. But go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, but I mean, it could be an odd feeling, right? Because sometimes we've not had something or someone pulling at our nipples and our breast. Maybe I see Courtney's face, and maybe we have
Oh.
from past experiences.
I'm like,
But
oh,
never, but not a baby. I should say not a
not a
baby,
baby.
not
That's
a
true.
baby. So
Wee.
this is an adult
Her
podcast.
I'm
eyebrows
just
just
like,
like snitch.
oh, sorry.
I meant it in the way of babies,
Right.
younger people, right? We know the older males and females may have experiences with that, but sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. And so I think
Mhm.
we have to unlearn and we have to relearn so that we can properly, encourage and empower each other versus tearing each other's confidence down because of something we don't know.
Absolutely. And I remember, so how I met Alexis was due to her dissertation and wanting to, and interviewing my family members and us talking about this. And I feel like a big thing with, especially in the Black community, when it comes to breastfeeding, when elders tell you this is not for you, this is not what we do, this is that, in their mind, they're doing it as a protection
Yep.
mechanism. They
Yes.
want to protect you from harm. They don't want someone to hurt you. They don't want someone to harm you. They do not want you to be seen as a sexual object because they were made
Mm-mm.
for themselves. This was like, that was just what it was. And so it can be very disturbing. And I had to learn that through birth work, that, hey man, I hear what you're saying. I know it's very painful, but what she's really saying is, hey, I want to just keep you safe. I don't want anything to happen to you. You're showing too much love to this baby. And if you do, someone's going to take it from you.
Yeah.
And having to unlearn that unnatural behavior, but also to have to go to the elders of like, she's okay.
Yeah.
She's safe.
Yeah.
And I love that you pointed that out. It is learned behavior. When Alexis was speaking, I'm like, literally, learned behavior. And it's the behavioral understanding that has to come into place to target the actuated, handled, and I'm trying to break it down to all the words that people can accept, right? The doing of a thing in your habits, to build a habit that reframes the thinking behind the behavior. I hope y'all went in that circle with me. Is work.
Yes.
You know, and I do have a behavioral modifications background in law enforcement. So I've seen the effects, and I needed to understand what was going on with our people. I needed to understand, like, why do we behave the way we behave? And sure enough, Alexis, I love that that's what you did your dissertation on. It's if we are not taking time to think about us and how to help restore, create, heal us, who is? Like, who gonna do that if it is not us?
Absolutely.
Yep.
That absolutely. Well, you have to do the work.
I will jump in and say, I think there are those who might try to do it, Malikia, for funding dollars. Oh, okay. Did I say something?
Oh, wait. Okay. Say it again for the ones in the back. Say it again for the ones in the back.
So my titty's out right now, y'all. Some people try to do this work because of funding dollars, because it is the end thing to do, right? And they're not doing it from a good heart. They're not doing it from a place of trying to understand our struggle and trying to understand our success, right? They're doing it for clicks and views and, all the things, for the papers, the journals, for the presentations, and for that funding money. And that is what I'm tired of. So, like you're saying, Malikia, if we don't do it, it won't be done right.
That part. And
done right. Oh,
done right. And I love this comment that was down here. Oh, you were born the same day? That's awesome. There is a comment that they were put on here today. That house hypersexualized, the product of breastfeeding has been, and that is not a safe place for mothers to feed. So I'm glad this was brought up, because people who do not realize, all over the United States, it is legal for you to breastfeed.
Every state.
There's actually a card you can get stating, I have the ability to breastfeed, because it is America is hypersexualized on the most unsexualized things due to how the scope of thought process is here. And it's very different when you are brought up in a different thought process. Like I was very blessed. My godparents are Nigerian. So I was taught very early on, because I used to cover up, and it was my dad, and I love him. He's like, what are you doing? I said, well, we're all out here eating, because I went to get up to move, because my spouse at the time told me I had to, because it was disgusting and you have to do this. He pulled me down, said, sit down, took my plate, fed me food, and uncovered my baby. He's like, it is not natural to put a blanket over this child's head. She's like, if you're feeding her, you're supposed to feed her with the sun, and I'm going to feed you. And that did so much for me. And my godmother and all these women around me loved on me, and they're like, that's not normal. If you want to cover her, you need to wrap her up, but you got to have her head out, because you can make her sick. So leaving there, moving to St. Pete, and I would be out. I was the one out. My titties was out. I didn't care. I fed everywhere. And people were like, why are you doing this? I said, because I was taught this is how you have the healthiest babies. I was taught that they have to eat from sun to breast. That's the full well of feeding it. And if you don't like it, fuck you. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm gonna feed my baby.
We do curse over here. Okay, great.
Girl, I be going down. I be going down.
So are you ready, Malikia?
I'm getting it down.
Chip
We are
down.
not.
No.
Listen, there's a reason why we Saturday morning, honey. We keep it in here. Sometimes we got tea. Sometimes we got Hennessy. Sometimes we got both. It just depends.
They drinking and I'm thinking of you. Let's go.
Listen, there's been some mornings. If I got my green Emerald City cup,
you know what's up.
You know what's up. That's these crown sitting. Are you kidding me? That's breakfast of champions over here, okay? So, but all of that to be said is that for me, breastfeeding was a revolutionary act. No one did it in my family because of a lot of reasons. And for me, that's what it was. Even when other people were there to ask, so you're going to keep your titties out? It came to the point now that like, leave her ass alone. Don't fuck with her. Leave her alone. Don't you say shit to her about her titties or her babies, because guess what? All of them are healthy. Leave her alone. And even my grandmother would roll up on somebody in her wheelchair like, I know you ain't bothering my grandchild and her grandbaby, my great grandbaby, with her feeding. You don't like her titties out, look somewhere else. I'm like, go ahead, grandma.
It's your business.
Right.
I just got the jokes. I won't even say it on the show. My brother was a comedian. He had a lot to say about the long.
So I love how that comment right there. We don't force this on mammals. We don't force this on anyone else.
Yeah.
But women breastfeeding, it is. But I will say this with Black women with their titties out and breastfeeding is looked at sometimes like a National Geographic type of moment. We don't get.
But Courtney, quit playing. I was trying to be kind.
Do it, Malikia.
It's the zoo effect.
Yes.
Like, can we be honest? Can we be honest?
Absolutely.
And that lends to the hypersexualization. That, okay, let's be petty. If you're petty and you know it, clap your hands. Okay, so what happened was, I cannot stand watching a lot of these damn award shows because consistently the Black women are NAF, naked as fuck. And we are beautiful, we sexy, and it's one thing if you choose to, but not everybody choosing to show with their vagina hair shaved so well and waxed off so they could display it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It is, look at the history of images, and it will tell you a story without one dang on word. It is a hot ass mess. So when we are offered on the plate, this is the same plant. Girl, I almost lost my shit last night. We ain't gonna talk about that right now, because somebody was up in there and said everything is white as it needs to be. Listen, and broke off a plantation word, and I was like, I could blow up the spot, but it's my spot, so I'm gonna get at this motherfucker directly. However, it's the same plate. It's the same. And up in here smiling, bitch, we ain't friends. But okay, I digress. It is the same plantation plate. You see what I'm saying? It's the same centralization. It's the same rape. The rape has transliterated like the word in the Holy Bible. That's what it has done. The lynching has transliterated like the word of the Holy Bible. Get me started. You feel me? So it is the same plate. I can still take you in whatever manner I'm able to legally.
Right.
So that is why you must show me your breasts and your vagina, because you are for display. You are a commodity. You're still commodity. So that lends to that. And I'm going to calm down for a minute. So, and this is water in my jar. I swear it's water.
I love it, but that's real. And I love your comment here, Sophia, that it was a hard place for you to be in the work spot when you needed to pump in order to have milk ready for your daughters, and your boss was not respectful of the process.
Yep.
So this happens so often that this is why so many Black women do not breastfeed, not because they don't want to. Their work experience has not reacted to it, will not allow you to. That's like you're taking company time. Many companies have changed since then, but that is different. I breastfed for 18 hours with my oldest, and the reaction I got
18 months.
18 months. Congratulations for your 18 months. And yes, people are crazy.
Carla.
I see you, girl. So good to see you. But it is a problem how people react to the body, period, breastfeeding. But it's okay for us to be hypersexualized and to be used as meat on a platter. But it's impossible to just be able to breast pump.
Girl, you had muscles though. You had muscles though.
Hands.
Breast and hands to get it.
I remember that. Had muscles.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you still like, I had both of them pumps. My hands was strong. My muscles was thick because you were doing this in fear, or they'll make you go to the bathroom to pump. And what is wrong with that?
So gross.
But I can be on a war show with my titties out, my coochie out, and it's because it's for your pleasure. It's okay. So we get into these spaces of, and we need to take our little, like our break time for our music, but you know, we went in, and so we hitting it now. So we need to go into with breastfeeding, especially and birth itself, that it needs to be powerful, revolutionary, and taking charge of. So we actually have a picture right here that of a woman sitting in her spot, breastfeeding, looking joyous, enjoying that she is nurturing her baby. Her body is beautiful. Yes, this is art, but it's not being displayed as a sexualized anything, but no, as an empowered woman of, guess what I'm doing? I'm nurturing my baby, and I'm beautiful doing that. These are the things that is revolutionary, and what type of photos you will be seeing at our event on next week in Ybor about what Black birth looks like in multiple dimensions of it, as in I'm here and I'm struggling and I'm birthing and it's raw and it's real, but the power that comes from it. You did have, Carla, we knew you had them strong arms. We knew you was with it.
Putting all their things up here so we can see it after, because I like to read the comments, but you know what I mean? When we go through our replays, we can see them at least.
Yes, and I'm
looking at it now.
I love it. I love breastfeeding in so many different kind of ways, because I fed my first child for 2.5 years. And my youngest one was like almost 3 years, because she was not giving a titty up. She was like, "Nah, this is mine." And what it did for them, and then the bond that I still have with my children. And I feel like feeding them the way that I did, and being so bold and so open, like, fuck you, this is my act of service to my children. You ain't gotta like it, because my kids matter more than anything you got to say. I know embedded on them as who they are today. Breastfed babies are different.
Yes,
I keep telling people that. I said, breastfed babies move differently in the world. They are more confident. They are more put together. They're usually very connected to their parent, because they like, I had titty milk.
They connected to earth.
Yes.
You might not want to touch it, but they connected to the earth. And it's I see the different. It's true. They connected to the earth, and that's why you got a lot of these people just off over there. No commitment, no connection to, and I say what I say, but I never lose sight that we are all connected. Some of us need to learn how to behave. I'll leave it at that.
I could completely agree with that. So we have gone past our midpoint, but we're going to throw it in and throw some music in this bad boy, because, you know, over here for the birth workers, we need to have baby making music so we can have births to make that money. So go ahead.
Ew, 1, 2, 3, not it. 1, 2, 3, not it. No.
Got bills we got to pay over here, and we need some baby making music to make that happen, okay?
It is. Great topic, ladies. I'm loving it. So today I got my man Hakeem Romance, and this song is called I Heard. Let's check it out.
For me, asking all sorts of questions, second guessing. Well, you done found me, babe. What's it gonna be? You summoned me. Come over here, get you what you need. You been talking that shit all day. I'ma let you have your way. Show me what you're about, baby. Shouldn't be much more to say. So here we are. We got time alone. Baby, come on. I need to see what you're talking about. Make me believe what it's all about. Inspire me walking in the house. Baby, show me. I need to see what you're talking about. Make me believe what it's all about. Inspire me walking in the house. Baby, show me. Yeah. Thick secrets, infinity, many options to pick from. Sensing your sweet aura, is that Dior? I can't choose, I choose you. You know I love all of them. But what's the point of it all? I'ma rip them off anyway. You've been talking that shit all day. I'ma let you have your way. Show me what you're about, baby. Shouldn't be much more to say. So here we are. We got time alone. Baby, come on. I need to see what you're talking about. Make me believe what it's all about. Inspire me walking in the house. Baby, show me. I need to see what you're talking about. Make me believe what it's all about. Inspire me walking in the house. Baby, show me. Yeah.
And that was my man Hakeem Romance with I Heard. And if you are an independent artist or spoken word poet or up and coming comedian that's looking for some exposure, excuse me, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But if you are also a fan of music, you too can go to blastmusic247.com, register as an unlimited fan, and have access to hundreds of independent music. Blast, we're constantly changing the industry one artist at a time. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Troy. So if you're just joining us, welcome back to According to Courtney. It has been an amazingly fun, juicy conversation with my guests. They're not really guests. They did a fam. They came in for comment, and we talking about the revolutionary joys of Black birth and why is it such a revolutionary act. We have, artist, author, poet, all the great things, building people up and never tearing them down, Miss Malikia. And then we got the owner, operator of the revolution of Titties Out, Wisdom In, with Miss Alexis Woods Barr. So if you're just now joining us, we are a bit in the thick of it. And so, ladies, after we done had our, pay the bills, baby making music, we are back in it. And we left off about breastfeeding and how people react to this and how hypersexualized this act has been. But how Malikia had also stated, for Black women, it's always been this hypersexualized piece to it. Like, from kind of like, I don't know how visual porn, to be really honest, for a lot of people, of how they view this act versus how they should view this act.
Yeah.
It's crazy out here in these streets, ladies.
It's what you made me think of, and this is totally a sideline thought that's perfectly petty, I ain't gonna lie.
I love how you started out. I'm telling you for the beginning, it's gonna be petty as all get out, but I'm with it. Let's go.
Having worked with some children, this is bad, but it's funny, it's true. I had the conversation with one of my patients who we never saying no names, but they were explaining to me why they only wanted Black images when they were doing things that they had no business doing. And that random thought just literally popped to mind. And the bottom line is we are a beautiful people. Like there is no denying, ain't nothing like a good curve. And it's not just the body, it's the beautiful energy that emits. Like I really believe that we are beginning and end. Period. Okay, beginning and end. So everything encompassed. So I can't imagine that you wouldn't be attracted. However, curb your enthusiasm to respect.
Absolutely. Like, you
Yes.
know, the beauty of a Black woman is just what it is. It's just like understated. And it might be, you know, we bias, we Black women, but history has shown the thoughts of that. Think about back in Louisiana when they had the Tion rap rule that Black women were not allowed to show their hair because their hair was too beautiful. It brought too much issues for white women, so that you had to wear your hair wrapped. And what did Black women do? We wrapped it to the point that it was so beautiful and immaculate that it made it even worse for them. So it is hard that the Black gays, yes, we demand presence, confidence, and everything else, but the respect has to be paid. That my body is more than an engagement for you to be able to gawk at. This is not slavery. You don't own my body. I own my body. You can look at that, touch it, sniff it, and taste it if I allow you to. Otherwise, you can't touch
it,
me.
sniff it, and taste it, Jesus.
I just
That's
because I
three
feel
of
like,
the five senses.
What you doing, Courtney? Where did we just go?
I'm
Did
just
she just
saying
did she
because
did you just give us three of the five senses how to deal with this? Touch
I'm
it,
just
smell it,
listening. I'm just saying because you said it about your random patient, and I'm just like, well, look, sir, let me let you know how this is gonna go. You can't do none of the things without the permission of, and I feel like we get that lost in translation. Oh,
Scent is beautiful. It really and here's to be understood. I wouldn't even say that I stand in a bias, probably do, but I wouldn't say that because I can appreciate the beauty of some pink sisters. I have seen some fan pink sisters, and it's Pride Month, so we out here. I definitely identify as bi, so I can appreciate the beauty in whatever skin complexion it comes in. But there is something about a chocolate sister, hallelujah. It just really is. But even in that, I am respectful.
Yeah.
Unless I've been drinking.
Okay.
absolutely. I think it's just about and respect and integrity, and sometimes that also, when it comes to, I feel like with childbirth and rearing, there has to be some more respect put onto us. Put with some respect on our name, because historically it hasn't been. It has, but it hasn't been. They expect Black women to nurture and take care of everyone else but her own and their own, even outside in the birthing realm and outside of it. So it's like, but you're supposed to be pleasuring me. You're supposed to be taking care of me. And the act of joy in a birth setting and out is no. You gonna take care of me when I tell you you can. And the way
so what
that
can we do? Like, what can we do if I'm a checklist person? I like checklists and I like details, right? So what can we do to help bring the lens, besides this conversation, to what a woman can do to prepare so that she does experience joy? And some women do not have pain during childbirth. I am not one of them. So what can we do in preparation?
Go. Tag in.
All right. So I'm with you, Malikia. I am a very detailed, like I need to know 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I don't work any other way. So I think because Black birth joy is tangible, right? It's not just a mindset, it's an action. And so we can hire that Black doula, right? Who understands when I say I'm in pain, I'm actually in pain, right? We could choose the midwife who sees our body as capable and not as risky. We can create that checklist of what music we want to have played in the background because it feeds our soul, right? We can decorate our birthing space with photos of our ancestors, or maybe photos like what Courtney showed us earlier, right? Having our partner speak affirmations over us during our delivery and our labor process. Having those postpartum meals, right?
That
Mm.
part.
That women who know that food is medicine bring to us that nourishes our body while we nourish our baby. Um,
Absolutely.
Maybe the birth photography, you know what I mean? That captures our beauty and strength, not just
Mm,
looking at us as medical moments. You know what I'm
that
talking
part.
about, Courtney?
Absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely,
I
and
love
that's
it.
all important. And also
Yeah,
having our
Mhm.
families hone in, making birth what it used to be. It's a
yeah.
family community
Community.
event.
Yes,
It is
yes.
an event. It is a time of joy, and to have your community stand in that, and also to raise your children in that mindset. That's
Right.
with you know this from birth. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know anything differently. I was like that. I was taught from early. You pregnant, you call in the midwife. So in my
Mm.
mind, this was normal to
Mm,
have this and to have these expectations to
Mhm.
be like, no, I'm not supposed to be miserable. You are supposed to take care of me. I shouldn't be risking my life. That's not how this is supposed to go. So I feel like
Right.
those are having those changes.
Mhm.
Also having conversations like this,
Okay.
meeting up, seeing it, and be able to link everything together. People are
Mhm.
senses people. I need to be able to
mm,
see it, hold it, hear it, and make it tangible.
I
Having
know.
these
I seen something on
conversations
the
with our
side. I'm like, I'm
daughters.
leaning.
Yes, I'm reading it. I'm like,
Yeah,
yes. And I love
that's
that.
true.
Sophia,
That's
that's a good
very
one.
true.
We
It
need to be
is.
having these conversations with our daughters and our sons. We
yes.
need to be talking about this from a woman's experience, from a woman to woman. We need to have this
Mhm.
conversation, but also with our sons so they understand when you choose to have a mate and a partner and to go through the birthing experience, this is your role. This is you are
Yeah.
important and how
That's
you
it.
need to support her during this period of time. I
Yeah.
don't care if you don't like her, you gonna support her during this period of time
Oh,
because
gee.
let's be realistic and to embed that into our sons. If you are making a baby and you're doing this, this is what you do because the birth is the end result. She has
Mm-hmm.
to hold this baby, carry this baby. You need to nurture her, love her, hold her space. And as
Mm,
women, we need to be taught that from as soon as you get your period, we need to be having these conversations. If not even really
Oh, for
beforehand,
sure.
but as soon as you start, okay, we bleeding, it's not close your legs, shut down. It's let me embody you to understand as what your journey as a woman
mm-hmm.
is going to look like and
Okay.
lay that as a foundation. This is what
Mm-hmm.
it is.
Right.
Yeah. And I appreciate you all saying that because there is a ripple effect that will happen from our conversations that ripples down, that dripples down to our children, to our cousins, our aunts, our family, because this is so communal,
Mhm.
Courtney and Malikia, that once our daughters and our sons see that we've been respected and honored, they'll know they deserve the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so there's this ripple effect that we're going to grow this next generation with this birthing experience that we may not have had, but that we can show them exist. And we're changing the narrative for
Now, I will
sure.
not be participating in any more birthing. I have no intention on pushing out another damn thing. How about that? However, I'm on deck for all of the conversations. I did my bit.
You
I have three
did.
daughters
You
and I have
did.
three sons, so I did my bit. Grandbabies
Wow.
in deck. So, sure enough, but I am wholly willing to participate in this level of conversation because it's I shared it with my partner. Shout out to Scott Hero. We were talking. There are so many fires in our
Mm,
community. This to me, it's another fire that needs quenching, not
mm,
dousing, but quenching. You know what I mean? Because or redirecting. Let's say it that way. Keep the fire. Keep that fire energy. Let's burn and consume some things, but at the same time, break it out like acacia wood seeds. Now let's create. Now let's create.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I appreciate the answer that you offered because it's very true. Like, I love the checklist. Can't nobody say after they hear this that they don't even have a guideline. Like, Alexis just literally broke it down into a guideline for how we can. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would add would be have a lot of good sex before you get birth because it's about to be dry for a minute. For real, for real. It's like for real, for real. And then
it's reality.
yeah, and keep writing, Like, this is the perfect time to write so that you can see what you're thinking, see what you're feeling, see those emotions out in front of you, and let them be not as big, because sometimes they're just so big. And when you write them down, they have somewhere to be outside of your body. Step one, they have something to reflect. You can see what you're thinking and adjust accordingly, because it is work. It is work, and the expectation that, I think, is such a part. You mentioned the postpartum, the understanding that your hormones are still wilding out, bro. Like, your body is in
Yes.
gangland. Like, it's a war, gang and turf war going on, and you're expected to nurse and nourish a baby. So and I love that you pointed out about the fathers and or the donors, however it comes, being responsible and being present and pouring love. I have a grandbaby on the way, and I gotta say, I was in my son's ass. How is she? What are you doing to make sure she feels loved and that your son is getting your energy? Learning to respect how he's gonna handle the mother. And this is his wife, so she's not a random thing, God. You feel, and I love her. I love her a lot. Okay, so she make the difference. I'm gonna say it like that. So it is important that we do what we need to as mothers. The job ain't over when they grow. The job ain't over when they married. The job ain't over once they get to having babies. You don't get a day off, my dude.
No.
That's what you sign up for when you sign up for motherhood. Welcome to the damn hood. It's ghetto sometimes.
The hood.
It is the hood. It is the hood.
Keep living. Get to the granny hood and the grandpa hood. You're gonna love that. You're gonna love that. But in the meantime, there's work. And my daughter-in-law is Other. And she dope as, I mean,
Awesome.
Yo, God knew. I'm gonna say it like that. God knew, because she's strong. She's strong, and he is amazing. So she lucky, and he lucky too. They just ain't crazy. It's wonderful.
I love that.
That's nice.
And that's so important that you do that, because you're right. This hood don't ever stop, and it just changes. But think about the ripple effect you have done for your own children. You've already spoke about 2 of your children, how being there, being a vessel, showing them, letting them, so that you've embodied them to one, being comfortable. I'm gonna breastfeed any way I need to.
That's
Why?
right.
Because it was passed down to me through my mama. That your son is going to be able to say, I can support my wife every way she needs to, and support my child, and my child I'm in touch with my child because my mama told me to. That is how you make the change. That's the most revolutionary act you can do that was taken from us from history. We get to love our children, embody our wisdom on our children, breastfeed our children, have them born into love, joy, and hope and promise, because that is the most revolutionary and loving thing we can do. We are the change. And when we engulf that, you can't, no matter what medical system tries to do, when you have that is carrying on through your ancestors, or showing you, I'm giving you what I couldn't give, so I'm gonna give it to you tenfold. That is how we change it. That is how you make a difference, is by what you guys are doing just now.
I respect that.
It starts at home. It starts in there, because you can't expect a medical system that was built off the backs of slavery and gynecology on enslaved bodies to be able to come to you and say, I'm gonna show you how to love yourself. You don't know what that even look like. You don't even know what that is, but we do, because that's what we were
love me,
from.
but you gonna teach me to love me, right?
Right.
You ain't never respected me or cared about me, give a foot, but you gonna teach me to love me.
They can't. So let's not have that expectation for them.
And you don't even love you, but you gonna teach me.
Okay. But people don't understand the history of where it came from. And so the history is, they don't love you. They didn't want you there. They just took you for a profit and just to treat you bad.
It's just so good, Sophia. It is absolutely ghetto. Yes, it is.
I love it.
Little bitty letters, so I'm over here messing with buttons and making it big so I can read it.
Right.
I love it. But it's the truth. It is ghetto. But you know what? That's what we do. We're gonna make it nurtured. We're gonna give them the best experience, because experience is a teacher. But we can also, what we're doing now by pushing this and embedding this into our children. The seeds have already been planted because this is the seed you've been planted from the time you were in the womb. This is all I know. What do you mean I'm not going to be treated with respect and dignity? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I came from? Do you know who my mother is, my grandmother is, my great grandmother is, and my grandmother beforehand? Bitch, you will give me the fuck I asked for. You will be doing this. You know what? That's okay. I'm gonna bring in my own team. I don't need to hear anything you got to say besides push and catch. That's how you make the changes. So
I don't even want my son to catch like literally like the first touch is your baby, need is yours. Because that's a loving touch. It's not a sterile working whatever energy
medicalized.
You know, like, people are people, and that's what I do understand. Some folks, regardless of color, are there to do their job, so they're moving in a job specific energy, and I understand that, and I respect it, and thank God for the people who care. Same time, some people don't scratch their booty. I don't want you to be in the first touch. But my baby, I just really don't. You got to itch right quick, and you just, no, hell no, move around. So I would like for my son.
I'm about to scream.
So all the healthcare workers, you better be changing your gloves, child.
Gloves, hell, scratching your booty. I mean, go wash that. Okay,
so good.
Sorry, not really, but yeah. So,
but I love that. But you can empower people to do that.
She had 13 champions. Hallelujah.
That's a lot of babies. I love
That's
it.
A lot.
Are they all single births? Are there some doubles in there?
Because I'm like, I have some questions. Because that is what that woman
must have had some good, and Daddy had it strong.
Listen,
go work it out, brothers. Go work it out. Okay, great.
I love it.
Wow.
But I also love what that did for you is that she had 13 babies and she breastfed all of them. So to you, it's the norm. And to get people to understand, for many families, that is the norm. That you can be born into the love and the understanding that this is what it is. And I didn't realize that was rare until I started doing birth work. And actually talking to Alexis, because I was like, I don't understand why people think like this. And it was like a genuine, like naive kid. Like, I'm very confused. I'm not understanding because my mom couldn't breastfeed me because she was a cop and it didn't work for her schedule and they would not allow her to do it. So my grandma was like, okay, I'll take over care. And she got me goat's milk. And that was what I lived off of, was goat's milk until I was older. I was very sickly, everything else. So she did what she was taught to do and said, okay, well, she might be having some goat's milk, some K-roll syrup. And then we're going to take these peas, we're going to mash them down and she's going to drink hot liquor until it's time. And that's how I was raised because that's what she knew to do.
Can we just talk about how nasty oat milk is right quick? And Carol syrup don't make it better. Can we just talk about how nasty it honestly is? I tried it. I had to do that. And I tasted it because I just need to understand. You just gave me trauma. Like my whole just
PTSD going on.
I love it. So
right out to Jesus. Go ahead.
So we was living off of black what is it, Angola blackstrap molasses. I grew up on that. And so it didn't occur to me that people didn't eat that or they didn't know what it was. I was like, y'all don't eat blackstrap molasses? Like, it was on biscuits. It was in everything because she's like, that's one of the little things we had to rub on your lips and that was what it was. So, people do what they know to do. And that was just what it was at the time. So now with the information that we do have, the knowledge that you do have, you can add the other things from, I always tell people, mix a little of the old and the new. And it makes a difference.
17. Jesus Christ. Have mercy, Lord.
That woman did her thing.
She's blessed.
It is blessed and highly favored because to think about that, to be in that time period, you may have had midwives or you may have been doing it by yourself or you're doing it in a medical establishment who did nothing for you. So for Black women in the hospital system, people didn't know back then, they had to give birth in the basement. And a long line with other women. It was dark, it was dank, it was cold. And usually there was no one there until after the baby was pushed and then they did the bare minimum for you. That was the reality for Black women. Or they put you in something called twilight sleep, where they gave you medication that would make you absolutely, completely crazy. They strapped you to a bed and you were screaming, yelling, and crying, and you don't remember anything that happened to you. And this went on for
A long time.
long time. This was twilight sleep. Many people's mothers, if you ask them now, depending on your age, will tell you they came from twilight sleep, or their grandmothers. Well, what was your birth like? I don't remember, because they were under twilight sleep. Some people still have the marks on their wrists because they fought so hard against the straps.
Mm-hmm.
And think about what that does to the mental,
Mm-hmm.
to be born into that, a dark space where you're in a basement being strapped down to a bed,
Holy
and to think they have to do that 17 times.
Holy Spirit.
So all of
We are
that,
amazing people.
we are amazing people, is to say this and to hold space. Like, this is why for Juneteenth, I wanted to say the joys, because we've come from so much. We go
Mhm.
through so much, but you cannot understand the joys without understanding the history and
Mhm.
sorrow that comes with it. And then not only the sorrow, but the resilience
Mm.
that also birthed, and to make you feel comfortable to have your titties out and have your wisdom in, and to learn and
Yes.
unlearn behaviors, and to be able to breathe life into our six babies that we brought into this world, and the importance of this. So all of this to say, we are amazing beings. We literally went over our time. I hope guests and everyone else will be in there. And if you love this, like it, share it, subscribe, do all the things. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing that, because I just be like, you want to come and love on it? Cool. But let me ask y'all, all right, you like it, subscribe, share this shit. Let people know that this is
Period.
that's a revolutionary act right there. Hey man, share this shit. I heard some shit about some titties I didn't even know about. Share it.
Mhm.
And let people know what's really good. Ladies, I love it. I'm so happy to have had you all in
I know, right? We
space
have to make it
with us.
bigger. I don't know how you do it.
Being weighed down by the pain of the world is
Ah.
full of awareness. Ooh, ooh,
And
yes.
still choosing joy. Amen.
Yes, I love that. And we're still choosing joy.
It's a choice.
It is. I feel like that
Thank you,
is like the
Sophia.
best period of it all on that.
Yeah.
Through everything, we still have the ability to choose joy
Mhm.
and keep standing
Yes.
on that. And this is
Yeah.
bigger than a birth lesson. That's a life lesson. No matter
Mhm.
what, as
Yes.
Black people, especially as Black women, let's choose joy
Mm.
through it all, through all the crazy that's going on, through all political climates, American climates. If you're watching internationally, we going through it over here, okay? We are going through it over here. Don't let the televised show you anything different. But we are choosing
Mhm.
joy in the midst of mayhem, hell, and chaos. We are choosing that we're going to birth this way, move this way, and live this way.
Mm.
Period.
Yes. Period.
And make room
All
for
right,
us in your
well,
country, because we might need to leave. But okay.
child, that we might have to come back for that next topic, child, because you hit the nail on the head. Because I'm like, listen, I need to know, hey, where the state people, where y'all want us at, where we welcome. Can
Party.
you come and let us know? Tell me about your country, child, because I just might need to know. Just
Mm.
in
Couple of
case.
visits for a
Just
few
in
years.
case.
Couple of visits.
Right, long-term visitations, how that work for y'all? What's that? What you want? What I gotta buy? Let's talk about it. So, ladies, it's been amazing. It is always a fun time and a great time when I have you ladies in space. And thank y'all. This is the first time being in space together.
Together.
Yes, even though it's the first time, let's not make this the last time.
Absolutely
I see
not.
we can get into a lot of mischief together.
I like it.
I like it. I
Next week is
agree.
step number 1.
Yes. So,
Listen, I told you, poetry be pimping me, dude. When I seen it, I was like, huh?
yes,
What's my name? Huh?
I appreciate you guys hopping on in the morning and doing this with us. Everyone who's joined in, again, if you need to talk about your titties being out, wisdom in, go ahead and make sure you reach out to Miss Alexis Woods Barr. Go ahead, tell them where to find you. Where to find you, ma'am.
So you can find me on TikTok and Instagram on Titties Out Wisdom In. And I want to start doing live. So we'll see how that works out. Might bring in Malikia and Courtney to help us out.
Absolutely.
I love it. And if people, Miss Malikia, if people want to find you, where they find you at, girl?
If you is look up for me, what's who needs? No, just kidding. On Instagram, it's gonna be Malikia.LadyMolotov if you'd like to connect over there. Every other social platform is going to be Malika K. Courtney, including professionally with LinkedIn, Goof Off Time on Facebook, Poetically, if you'd like to come play every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are in Partners in Rhyme, Lyrical Vibes, and that is a true space. It's sacred, and we get into sacred mischief on top of that. So, y'all, if you know you want to play those games, come on, get with your girl on that. Part 2, professionally. If it is that you need someone to love you back to life, and this is a serious note, playtime aside, for women who have experienced those traumas and those moments where they can't get past, for women who have been betrayed and used and abused, and you would like to stop letting that be your soul story. You done with that part of life and you like to transition to something new, create something better. If I am your coach and you resonate vibrationally right now, if that is the case, you are welcome to text me, coach me. You're going to text coach me to 321-443-2495. Coach me. And we'll start the communication and get things going and see where you fit, whether it's one-on-one or group or event. So let's have that conversation. I do strategy sessions as well, but that's kind of more in the professional bag. It is for professional business women who know that business begins in the body and we got work to do. So that having been said, connect.
I love it.
Back. Courtney, I'm performing. So not only with you guys on the 20th, and I'm sure you're going to share that, so I won't mention that part, but July 12th at the R&B Manatee County Festival. Lady Molotov is who I show up here. It's in my poetry.
Okay, I love it.
I'm going to, I'm going to come spit for the people and do a little singing, y'all. It's going to be a little singing, a little bit of fire. So,
I love it. That is
Okay.
absolutely amazing. All right. I love all the things and all the people. Yes, we will be performing and having this deep conversation next Saturday at between the Onyx Gallery and then also the gallery, Indian War Gallery in Ybor City. We will be sharing off on other spaces and platforms all the information. I am super excited that if you want to get a chance to connect with us, and I'll add all the information at the end. So when you're looking to this, you can tag into this, come see us and have an opportunity to meet myself, Malika, Alexis Woods, and also Sarah Hunter, who's doing her photography in those spaces. So this is a rare opportunity. Yes, you're going to catch all of us in one spot. That's a lot of Courtney to Courtney people all in one house and one family talking about what is the revolutionary acts of birth and then also displaying these pieces as well. So I'm super excited. To my audience, you are loved, you are seen, you are heard, and we are about that life. All right, you good people. You guys take care, and until next time.
1 second, because Troy gonna get me if I don't do this right quick. Because I forgot to say that out there.
Oh,
podcast.
There
My podcast is Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. I do a lot. So catch up with me at Malika K. Courtney YouTube. Follow the channel, subscribe. You can also catch up with me right here with Blast going live. So follow the Yellow Brick Road. There we go.
You almost got. See,
Yes.
I missed a comment. I'm sorry. I felt it. Whoa. Always meet us at Blast. You can find us on Blast. We part of the Blast family. Like it, subscribe, watch. We are always connected in. So podcast us. You can reach us either way. So now with all of that being said, all right, good people. Until next time, take care. Later.